Turns out it's hard to travel remote areas without your own transport. Without a bike, it's actually quite difficult to get around, go the places you want to go. If I bicycle to the waterfall nearby, it's 2 hours. Considering it, there's a cool town, city thing on the way further north. But again, there's one bus, apparently, that goes there, and there's one bus that goes from there to Hoi An, which is risky. But there is a tour agency there in this little town. So I might message them, see if they want to do a tour for a day and help me plan my travel. I was planning to stay in this area for 4 days, but now that I've cancelled my Airbnb, I'm kind of just drifting. So I think I'll leave tomorrow, which means I have to figure out what I want to do just today here. There's a... I don't care about this. It doesn't matter. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do today. I messaged the lady from yesterday on the phone, and she replied. I actually managed to get in touch with her, so I don't suspect anything's going to come of it. But that was fun. I explained the situation to her, and she said, "Don't worry about it." Sounds nice. But yeah, getting around without a bike. If I ever come back to Southeast Asia, then I will first get a license. Or bring my own bike and cycle or something. But yeah. Because there's even a part of me that's like, why don't I just go straight, just take a long bus and just go straight to Hoi An tomorrow. Like, am I really feeling... I was trying to really retreat. I could do I don't know. I really wanted to just sort of chill in a big house and read and make tea and relax, and doing all this biddy travel that's quite sharp and spending 1 or 2 days in different places. But people really do rave about the next place. Okay, fine. I'm going to message the tour agency and be like, hey, any good way of me getting there and a good way of getting to Hoi An, and if I stay for a day, can you just help me out basically sorting everything so I don't have to think about anything. Might be nice. People have said it's a very authentic experience of Central Highland Vietnam, and that city has a big wooden cathedral, which sounds pretty cool. And today, if I can figure out a way to get to and from the waterfall, maybe I'll go. I don't know if I'm feeling a 4-hour cycle day today. So yeah. Go find a cafe. It's quite chilly here. I already miss the heat. It's only it's 15 degrees and I'm it's freezing cold. Also, this is the longest my hair has been in a while now. It feels weird that I can actually feel hair up here. I think I'm gonna shave everything off to a 1 in the new year for fun. If there's a razor, otherwise I'll go to a place and I'll be like, monk. Monk me. So I think that'd be funny. And then I'll grow it out until Japan, and then I'll dye it. Is the plan, I think, right now. As suspected, this top one is the only one that's still bleeding a little bit. The other two are healing super, super nicely. No issues whatsoever. I'm being very careful, so that's good. Anyway, I'm gonna find a cafe and plan. Not super exciting day today. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, I had a busy day today, but a busy day of planning. I have an early bus tomorrow to a random little town. So I should be getting a full refund for the Airbnb I didn't take. Sounds good. And I have this dream of all of my clothes being natural materials and natural dyes. And so if I, it's just a dark way of thinking about it, if I die, I could be buried in my clothes and I would biodegrade into the ether. And I found a village in the north that in they don't say Hajang here, they say Hazang. Don't know. In Hajang, where the loop is, which I have also inquired about, where there's a very famous village of women who make clothes. And I've reached out to a tour company who do tours there, to see if I can stay there and make something unique and personal. I don't know what, but yeah, they use all natural dyes and all natural materials. So maybe I make one thing, maybe I make two things, maybe they make me something. I don't know. Maybe I replace something. Maybe I'm not sure yet. But that would be cool. I also signed up for Woof, which is a farming platform, and I reached out to a farm. There was really only one farm in Vietnam that didn't also do animal husbandry and animal farming. And they've got back to me and they've asked me what my experience is like on a farm. So I'm going to have to say no experience and hope that they are still interested, though the timing is a little off. Yeah, but we'll see. It's quite cool as well. Yeah, I don't know. I still get these like pangs of anxiety when I am in a state of being somewhere and not doing anything. And I think I need to accept I need to embrace the downtime where I might be not fully exploiting my time in a place, but that's okay, because I also have to do other things about life, like planning and relaxing and doing nothing, and own the choice to do that and to rest. Yeah, it's not like it takes hold. It doesn't control me or anything. But yeah, I found a really good metaphor for what my anxiety feels like when it does hit, which is like swallowing a molten ball of metal, and it kind of like starts in like the bottom of your throat, like top of your chest, and like sort of sinks down, radiating heat outwards that like rises into your shoulders and neck and makes you sweat, and then it kind of sits in your stomach that's where it cools, or it stays hot. Like you feed it with your anxiety, like you keep swallowing more molten metal and the ball just either stays the same size or it gets bigger, or you're processing it and it gets smaller and smaller and cools down. And then you could be like, you have little jolts, like little sort of moments where it like goes into you quite quickly, and then it cools very quickly in you as well. So yeah, pretty much exclusively I'll have like little moments, seemingly sometimes caused by completely random things, but there's always something at their core that causes it. And I think for me here, it's like feeling like I'm wasting my time when I'm not doing anything. Not just wasting my time in a country when I could be experiencing it in some way, or something in it in some way, but also just wasting my time in my life. I'm not like developing or becoming anything or meeting anyone new or anything like that. And so this choice that I've made isn't moving me in a direction and making me the next version of myself. It's just, there are just moments of pause where I'm still and stationary. But it's not really a major issue. It just, I think it hits me most when when I have no plan or anchor for the future at all in my life. In that moment is the feeling. Like, I have no tour planned, I have no place planned, I have nowhere I'm going planned. Well, the problem is that tends to be like not really true, and it tends to hit me irrationally when I'm tired, and I haven't had good sleep and I haven't eaten well or something. So like the day after a travel day is normally like the time where that starts to hit and that kind of thing. So it's easy enough for me to process and end up in an okay place, or forgive myself and be kind to myself. So it's okay. But it'll happen. So yeah, hopefully some interesting things on the horizon. And obviously, lots of people are going to be in Hoi An for Tet. Sarah's going to be there, which will be lovely. Sabrina will be there, which would be really cool to see her again from the Infant Sanctuary. Simona and Sam, and Sam's family, or Simona's family, are also going to be there, which would be really fun as well. And we're all staying at the same guest house, which I think will be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's in like a week, which is crazy soon. Also, I met up with Adrian and Katarina right at the end of the stay in Cambodia, and Adrian now makes daily videos, very different to mine. Shorter and in Spanish, obviously, and they don't have him in it. They don't have his face in it. He's in it, but he's like not showing his own face. It's like scenery and stuff. But I have been watching them every time they pop up on my feed. I watch them. They're pretty. It's nice that they're only like a couple minutes long. Normally, but it's really funny. He said he's doing it because he was inspired by me, or because I was doing it. So I like that. A couple of things. First thing was like, it was funny. I was talking to Spring during the tour, and she seemed to make the analogy. Well, first of all, I didn't realize that in Vietnam things were still so censored. She was saying that like lots and lots of films with sex or violence are censored, and that you can still get access to the films and stuff through back end means, obviously, but they're like banned or censored. And she was saying that she was kind of analogizing communism with censorship. She was because we're communists, so like we're a communist country, so that. And I was like, I think I need to read more base communist literature to compare against the manifestations of those regimes in history, because I don't know if what I have built in my head as my understanding of the principles are in reality the principles. And I know there's lots of different brands and versions and things to read and all that kind of stuff, and I will most likely watch or read something that summarizes all of them in one go so that I can then dive in as and when and where. But yeah, I thought that was... I hadn't considered those two things. I mean, obviously they tend to be attached, but I always consider that more of an authoritarian thing than a communist thing. But maybe those two things are also often synonymized in how they manifest. What else? Maybe that's all for now. I finished Lolita. It dips in the middle. It gets very dry and slow. I described it as to Anna. I sent her a message being like, Lolita starts off as hebephilic erotica, and then in the middle becomes like a Lonely Planet laundry list of locations in the US, and just like some weird, very slow, dry, barely moving plot. But I guess it's part of the disintegration of the charged emotion that feels somewhat reciprocal at the start of the book in the emotional drive rather than the just the emotions, the presence of an emotional drive, not necessarily a reciprocation of the same drives in Lolita and Humbert. And then it ends. I thought it was good. I preferred the beginning. It really held up a poignant sort of portrait of someone that it dared you to sympathize with. And then I think it lost its ability to hold that thread as it went. But maybe it actively let go. Yeah. Okay. I think that's good for today. It felt nice and reflective. Piercings are healing nicely. And I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Still can't believe I've been doing these every single day. And haven't missed a day. Yet. Not really, anyway. I remember the other thing I was going to say. I looked in the mirror today in the elevator as I was in the elevator, and maybe it's just because I've been tired, but I really, genuinely, sort of viscerally felt that I looked older. Like, I know I look older now than I did before, because I'm not completely stupid. But there is something in the like the image you have in your own head of yourself. It's not, I mean, it's obviously not the same as your outward projection. One does not see oneself as much as other people see one, right? So it's weird to think, but often the people that you spend the most time with probably have a more more of visual representation in their head that's generally accurate to the person you are in that moment than you do, especially when they're looking right at you. But I was then looking right at me, as I am wont to do, and I just noticed the lines and the creases and the darkness and the change, and I think it's pushed. Like, that moment felt like a little tipping point of the image I have in my head of myself now being older. So that's kind of fun. I've always enjoyed the quality of aging, quality in itself and quality in how it looks and manifests. I think I've always considered myself straddling the line of wanting to feel wiser than my age would show, but wanting to retain the openness to possibility that one loses with leaving one's childhood behind. It's something that always struck me about why Rhett and Link were always so compelling, is that it felt like they never really accepted that aging and being mature and wise meant that you had to not be meant that you had to limit your expression to that of an adult. You can be exactly as whimsical and magical as you want to be, if that is who you want to be. So, yeah. All right. Now I think I'm done. Yeah, I can't wait till I have, like, silver coming through and I look all distinguished. Or I look like shit. Who cares either way? But I think it will be cool to have some white hairs when that comes. Also, I'm going to be 28 soon. So that's something. I don't know. Yeah. Each day, a day goes by. See? Wisdom.